All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. And what a way to start a stream. Thank you, Smiley Face Jane, for the subscription. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. We also, Smiley Face Jane has kindly donated to us the text file that we'll be using for tonight's simulation. So, what we're going to do is continue on the franchise favorites theme. So, of course, last night we did my Mets roster that won an underwhelming 105 games, and I predicted that it would be probably the worst record of any of the franchise favorites simulations, except maybe the Marlins. And so, Smiley Face Jane did a sim modeling it based on the way we did it last night with the Marlins and won, I think it was 125 games. So I wanted to take that roster, run it through our quick start, just to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the quick start. And it is, in fact, there's just something wrong with the Mets. Um, so I wanted to get that a second data point in there. And if everything checks out, I think we're good. We'll start using the rosters that I've gotten from other affiliates and uh, get that underway. And then the other thing was I've been thinking about the channel point redemptions because I know there's a lot of interest in playing the creator roster game that I was testing out in stream. And hold on, I'm looking at my Twitch dashboard here while I'm talking. And so I realize you can't see this, but I got some information from some of our community, and I also talked to some other streamers, both OOTP and otherwise. And I think we're going to start off uh, playing that game. We'll start off with, actually, maybe I'll just create it right now. Um, let's add it right now. Play, create a roster. Play our create a roster game and enter your roster into the create a roster league. So I'm going to start it at 12,500 points. It seems like enough that it'll be our regulars who can have enough channel points to play, which is kind of what I want. But not so many points that you won't be able to save up more points to play either that game again or another game or select an experiment or something. Uh, before too much time passes. So we'll start it there. If it seems like it's too high, we'll think about lowering it. If we just get overwhelmed by people wanting to play, we might have to tick it up a little bit. But that seems like a sweet spot. So that's where we're going to start it out. So it's on there now. So I just want to get that out there. I was also wondering, I don't know if it's possible, but like, are streamers able to like give channel points to people? I didn't know if that was the thing. But, anyway, I'm looking into all that stuff. Ezra Denny, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. 5 minutes ago, we were fellow viewers as I was watching Ezra's stream, as I almost always do prior to going live. Continue to watch Ezra's 1960 Giants playing the new Candlestick Park. And as always, enjoyed the seventh inning stretch. Um, yeah, I always like seeing vintage video like that, Ezra. Whether it's a baseball stadium opening or anything, it's just cool seeing like the old cars, the old clothes, and yeah, that was really fun. I like that one a lot. So what we're doing tonight is a continuation of what we did last night, which is this is that franchise favorites save. I guess it's a save that I've been trying to put together for a while, asking various. I started with the other affiliate streamers, partly because at the time I was new to streaming, new to being an affiliate, and everyone was being so supportive. I wanted to kind of give something back, and I thought, maybe it would be fun for them to submit a roster to play this game. And at the time, actually, Ezra, I think we've talked about it since then, but you were away on vacation when I started asking people. But I'm hoping you will submit a Giants roster to me with your favorite Giants of all time. You don't even have to look up their player IDs. I can do that for you. But if you can give me their names and the peak year you want for each player, I will put your roster into the game and we will have you compete. But anyway, we tested out last night with the Mets, my Mets, and I guess probably predictably they underwhelmed. Which Johnny LeMaster did you pick? Well, unlike some of my other Sims, you can't have multiple Johnny LeMasters. So you will have to pick one. Um, but considering it's the peak years of my favorite Mets of all time, I was very disappointed that they only won 105 games in 2003. Now, my first reaction was not, oh, there must be something wrong with the sim. My first reaction was, well, of course, it's the Mets. And then they lost to a just regular old 2023 Braves team in the NLDS. But then people in the community, some of my viewers, in particular Smiley Face Jane, did a Phillies franchise favorite sim and a Marlins franchise favorite sim. The Marlins were key because at the time I said 105 wins is so low for this concept that it will probably be the lowest of any team other than maybe the Marlins. Well, Smiley Face James Marlins won 120 some games. So um, I'm going to use Smiley Face James roster file um, and we'll try running it using my quick start for franchise favorites and see if we get similar results. There's lots of RNG involved, especially across an entire season sim. It's small sample size, but if the Marlins come in closer to 100 like the Mets did, then I might suspect maybe there's something wrong with my setup. But if they don't, then we can still chalk up the Mets to just being the Mets, and we'll have a data point for the Marlins. Now, this isn't going to be official. So at some point, Smiley Face Jane can still enter a different team in, and at some point, someone else can submit a Marlins roster. But this will be Time Vader saying Shooter said Rays. The Marlins has some amazing young players. Um, in particular, Jose Fernandez has an insane year for simulating. And I think it's actually the first one in Smiley Face Jane's roster, too. So, yeah, it's interesting, right? Like the Mets, as long as they've been around and actually have made it to some World Series, just don't have a history of like game defining players. There's a lot of like very good players and a ton of players acquired after their prime, after their peak. So when you go to assemble an all-time Mets roster, there's just not a ton of like super exciting uh play. Well, there's lots of exciting players, but the years with the Mets that we have to pick from are just not as compelling. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And we will have a 10 pack giveaway. I did, because I've gotten permission from OOTP developments to, especially on days when I'm helping bridge stream times that Dr. Dynastic or another streamer um, is missing. Right, so Dr. Dynastic is out today, and I think all the weekend. So a bunch of us other streamers kind of help bridge that gap. So for especially for days like that, I'm going to have two sets of giveaways. So we did a giveaway today, this afternoon, and that topic was a continuation of one we had done previously. Was testing, trying to figure out what override and adjust actually do um, in the sliders. So we tested it here in the late night stream with sacrifice hits. We found that there were way too many sacrifice hits to draw any conclusions. So we redid it with stolen bases, and not successful stolen bases, just attempted stolen bases, because we didn't care about whether they succeed or not. We just cared about how often they tried to do it. And we did a pack giveaway for that, and now we'll be doing a pack giveaway tonight. So, hey Max, you're lurking, but you are streaming tonight, right? Is tonight the night you're going to try to bridge over to NASBase in the morning? I think if that's right, yeah, I think this is exciting. So Max, as usual, I will raid into Max when we finish up here. He's going to take you into the late night, but tonight he's going to take you overnight into the morning and raid into NASBase. So I think that's really cool. Max, that's right, Max overnight. So let me get the pack giveaway form created so that at least people who need to split can go ahead and fill it out and then feel free to take off. But that way, at least you have an entry and a chance to win. Let me pull up the one we did for the Mets, and I'll just copy that and use that as our starting point. Okay, here's the one for the Mets. Let me copy it and then I'll share it on the screen here. This is what is this, episode 108? Okay, so let's put this up on the screen here. Hold on, I can't find the. Oh, here we go. Okay. I haven't started editing it, so disregard that it still says Mets. This is for episode 108. This is the Marlins franchise favorites test. All time. Since this wasn't done by someone who has Marlins as their favorite, we'll say all time Marlins and their best seasons as a Marlin. The details should be the same. 2023 season, no injuries, no suspensions, personality, chemistry, morale, development all off, no trades, modifier set to 1. One thing to check though is I noticed in the completely average league quick save that the the normalization set to 1 was not locked, so we need to make sure that's locked. Okay, so I think it's the same question. So will they make the playoffs? Will they make it to the World Series? Will they win the World Series? Will anyone win a Cy Young or MVP and or MVP? So it can be either or both. And then how many regular seasons will this team win? And then what will be the team leading WAR? So those will be the same questions. I don't think we need to add anything or take away anything. So let me go ahead and put that up on. Well, actually, first let me open OOTP. So in an effort to not have my system lock up or crash during streams, um, I reboot before every stream now. So that means my OOTP is off. Okay, here's the OOTP. Let me go ahead and get a link up in the chat for this. I'm hoping I can do this quick enough so that Ezra can enter before he turns into a pumpkin and goes to bed. All right, in the chat, here's the message. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. And let me pin that. Okay, so it's pinned in the chat. You have until we start the sim to submit your entries. But you do not have to be present to win, so you can submit now. And I have not even had a chance to look at that yet. Oh, and you know what? I did not turn the form on. Let me turn the form on. Let me open the form. Form is now open. And I just opened it. Oh, Max just said open the form. Okay, yes, it's open. So we're going to start a new game with a quick start. I think Smiley Face Jane was saying something. Oh, was conflicted about Pudge because he was a one season player, but it was a World Series season. I ended up leaving him off. I think that's probably the right decision. Um, yeah, like with the Mets, I don't think I had any single season Mets on my list. Um, I don't know personally, and this is where people are going to be a little different. I know I talked to some of the affiliates after they submitted their rosters, and some went with their favorite players, which is what I did. Um, and well, so no, let me correct that. I went with the best players, but if there was a kind of a toss up, I would go with my favorite. And I did go, like David Cohn. He didn't have necessarily the highest WAR seasons with the Mets, but and I think you heard me say this several times. I really enjoyed watching him pitch for the Mets, so I made sure he was on the roster. Um, AEW says my main team is going to a Game 7 in daily live dinner plans. If it wins, it plays my new PAX only team in the final. That's awesome. I've had my teams play each other, but never in the finals like that. That's really cool. I used to play a lot more live tournaments because I was good at them because I was playing lots of uh, iron, bronze, and silver live tournaments because there are no combinators, and this was before combinator cap tournaments came in. So then I started playing live tournaments, and then but then I stopped playing them because I really like playing around the horn and nearly perfect. Nearly perfect because it's the closest we have right now to the perfecto tournaments that I really like in PT 24. But I miss them. I may have to start kind of working in some live draft tournaments back into the mix. Smiley Face Jane said, I'd be so tempted to throw with the main team for the rewards for the new team. All right, so yeah, so we got to kick off today's Stream with double thanks to Smiley Face Jane. One for letting us use the text file that was created for the sim that we're going to use for our sim, and then also for subscribing today. So really appreciate that. Um, so let's move on to the creating the simulation. So we have a franchise favorites quick start here, not the Mets one, but the base one here, and this will be the game we're going to create is FF Marlins VO1 test. Again, I'm going to keep saying test because this team is still up for grabs. And I don't want Smiley Face Jane to feel locked into the Marlins in case there's a different team. Um, that said, there's a whole list of affiliates that I gave uh, right of first refusal to that we're going to have to work through first. Okay, so we're going to do commissioner mode, cannot be fired. Um, oh yeah, we can go ahead and claim the Marlins here as we start. All right, so let's go ahead and clear out the roster. Yes, Nolan does have the Mariners, and I think I have his roster. I was actually due to do the Mariners too, but then when I decided to open it up to first to other affiliate streamers, he wanted to do the Marlins or the Mariners. Okay, so let me check. The one thing that was not correct in uh, the completely average league quick save was so Phillies or Twins would be the team so I face would prefer, but have to imagine at least Twins someone has first. Yeah, so Twins 34 has already submitted a Twins roster, and Nasbase is going to submit a Phillies roster. But if Nasbase doesn't come through, that would mean that the Phillies are up for grabs. So there's a possibility there. AW's dad is a fan of both the A's and the Pirates, or either of those. So Dr. Dynastic has already given me an A's roster. Um, and I think he very much took the favorites approach. So that was kind of fun to see. But the Pirates, I do not think anyone has claimed yet. So that's a possibility. Yeah, Nolan, the Nolan Network podcast has submitted a Mariners roster. Yeah, Griffey, Griffey and Calciga. Yeah, there's actually tons of good players in the Mariners' history. Um, Many of whom actually did have good seasons with the Mariners. That was the hard part for the Mets. Just a lot of players who had their best years after leaving the Mets or before coming to the Mets. Oh yeah, so the thing that was off in the completely average league quick save, I wanted to double check here was okay, yeah, this is correct. This was not checked. The lock league total stats was not checked in the in that quick save. Okay, so let's take a look at the roster file created by Smiley Face Jane. Let me share that here. Okay, so what I thought would be fun to do was just do a quick BREF zip through this. To me, part of the fun of building these is marveling at the seasons that we're talking about here. So let me open a BREF window and I will keep the text file open and then I'll just share BREF and we'll just look in BREF. In particular, the Jose Fernandez season is just so good. And also, I mean, he's such a sad story. dying so young in a boating accident that I try to sim with him whenever I can. So let's just do this. I will, since I have the player IDs, because for some of them, because I'm not a Marlins expert. I might not know who some of the players are just based on their player IDs. So we'll just go ahead and paste the player IDs in. But yeah, so here's Jose Fernandez. I think he was 24 when he died. Yeah, 24 years old and 56 days. Won the Rookie of the Year, and then the season I always kind of go to is yeah this. Well, I'm I mean, just amazing 2016 season. 12.5 strikeouts per nine, 4.6 strikeouts per walk, strikeout to walk ratio. Um, oh, AW drafted Smiley Face Jane and PBE. That's awesome. 16-8. But I also will sometimes grab this 2013 season because the whip is better, even though the strikeouts per nine is down. So it depends on kind of what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for the strikeouts, I like that 2016. If I'm looking for just like a dominating rate pitcher, then the 2013 is great for that. So yeah, so Jose Fernandez. Looks like we got Kevin Brown, of whom there were a couple of Kevin Browns playing around the same time. But this is the Georgia Tech legend, Kevin Brown. Uh, it's actually, I don't think I've looked him up in Baseball Reference for because otherwise I would have laughed before at this picture they chose of him. He looks a little sleepy. All right, so let's check out the season here. What? I'm realizing we're not having the whole stat line in there. So let me try to resize it. Okay, let's do that. That should be a little better. Kevin Brown is AW stats name. All right, so I think most people remember him as a Texas Ranger, but a couple years, both years an All Star with the Marlins, and lots of black ink this first season, including a sub 1 WHIP and a major league leading 1.89 ERA. And I don't think anyone would mistake 1996 for being a low ERA period, but just in case, a major league leading 2.15 ERA plus. Baltimore legend Kevin Brown. Yeah. The crazy thing is, this is like that Bob Gibson year too. Kevin Brown had a 1.89 ERA, and they still managed to lose 11 games for him. So it will be fun to watch this Kevin Brown pitch on a team that could give him some run support. Is this Sandy Alcantara? It is. and led the league in losses in 2019, yet was still made the All Star team. But we're looking here at the Cy Young Award winning 2022 season, 14-9. Six complete games as recently as 2022 is amazing. Um, the sub one whip is great, like the 4+ strikeout per walk ratio. I think this next one's going to be Dontrell Willis. Yeah, Dontrell Willis, one of the more fun pitching motions to watch. Yeah, the D trade, yeah, kind of sad how um relatively quickly though he flamed out, but when he was good, he was really fun to watch pitch. So Smiley Face Jane went with the 2005 season here, led the majors with 22 wins, seven complete games, and five shutouts. A minuscule zero point 0.4 home runs per nine. Yeah, this is a good year. This will be fun to watch. But yeah, just that funky delivery. I like just watching him pitch. Detroit ruins careers. I don't know if you look at the stats though, it looks like he was on his way to being ruined in 2007, but the ERA just ballooned, as did the WHIP. It's funny. I When I saw that his strikeouts per nine, because I looked at him for some other project I was doing too, and I was surprised that his strikeouts per nine were so low. Relatively speaking, like 6.5. It's not terrible, but I just assumed it was going to be higher. But yeah, really fun picture to watch. All right, this is Josh Johnson. And we'll be looking at the 2010 season, second of two consecutive All Star seasons. 180 ERA plus. Oh, look at that, zero point 0.3 home runs per nine. Yeah, very much an up and down career, but this is a good season, I think, for a sim. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. And again, with injuries turned off, a lot of these guys are going to be able to put in innings that they weren't able to in real life. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Rob Nen coming in. Yep, Rob Nen. Pretty long, consistent career for a closer. And I didn't realize he didn't hit 40 saves until he got to San Francisco. So he peaked at 35 saves with the Marlins. And Smiley Face Jane has picked this 96 season here, which is the lowest whip of his Marlins tenure. So I like that. The sub 2 ERA. Again, ties his Marlins high for saves in the season with 35. Yeah, this is great. 10.0 strikeouts per nine. The almost matched in 97 with 9.9, but the big difference here is uh, a career low walks per nine at 2.3. So really kind of put things together this season. Looking forward to that. Tanner Scott. This is good. It's hard to come up with relievers sometimes, especially if it's a franchise you're not following. But this is a good find. Let's see. Spyface Jane went with the 23 season. I also wouldn't have been opposed to going with the this combined 24 season, but the 23 season is the one with the sub one whip and the 4.33 strikeouts per nine. Yeah, I think you're going to get that with some teams, though. Um, there are going to be some teams that, they're just going to, especially the newer teams, the newer expansion teams, some of the teams where it's harder for them to kind of hold on to free agents. It's going to happen. So I think it's fine. Yeah, nice. Here's another example of a period in the player ID. It wasn't until last night that I knew that this would actually work for sure. But we had R.A. Dickey with the R period. We got A.J. Burnett with the A period. Tomato's favorite Giants and all-time best Giants were not the same players, and they were still getting over 105 wins. No, I mean, even among the expansion teams, I think most expansion teams should be able to get more than 105 wins. That was just a ridiculously mediocre performance last night by the Mets. All right, AJ Burnett. I didn't realize he actually didn't really peak at all with the Marlins. It wasn't until Toronto and New York where he really put in some full seasons. But this 2002 is still pretty good. The lowest whip, I think. No, he did top it one other year with the Marlins, but a solid 1.189 whip. Led the league in both hits per nine and home runs per nine, along with 14 wild pitches. That's some black ink you don't want. But he also goes on to lead the majors in wild pitches in 2009 and 2011. Spyface Jane putting together a Tampa roster. Be careful. AW might fight you. Spyface Jane, how hard was it to kind of fill in kind of the edges of the roster to make sure you had um, all the right all the right positions and everything? Especially because I think this is a um, a franchise you don't foresee have ties to, right? This is just like you did it because I kept mentioning the Marlins might be the one team the Mets could beat in this. Um, oh, so sorry, we're looking AJ Ramos, and we are going to be looking at his 2016 season. Yeah, his one All Star appearance, his peak save season. I like the double digit strikeouts per nine for sure. It will be interesting to see him pitch, especially with the 4.9 walks per nine. See, this is a pro like the Mets will have something like this too, where like this is a profile you just won't see like on a Yankees roster, an all-time Yankees roster. But um, oh, AEW still with the Seth McClung. I love it. All right, yeah. Carl Pavano. Been around long enough that his debut was with the Expos. not the Nationals. Wow, it's crazy. In my mind, I didn't realize how inconsistent his career was. That's wild. He hit double-digit wins only 4 times. I'm surprised. Sent a card in baseball to Mark Hendrickson, hoping to get it back soonish. When did you send it out, AW? So we're looking at the 2004 season, 18 and 8, 3 ERA, 1.174 WHIP, and 6 in Cy Young voting. This has been fun because the Marlins are not a team I know in depth, so this has been fun. Josh Beckett. I remember this being kind of a big deal when Boston I think they signed him, right? Because it was like, or was this part of a fire sale trade? Um, because it wasn't like people didn't know he was going to be good by the time they traded him. Yeah, he was 15-8 in his last season in Florida. So we're going with the 2003 season. Lowest ERA. It is the highest WHIP, but also the highest strikeouts per nine. Yeah, so I think, Jane, I'm kind of curious why the 2003 versus maybe the 2005, which was his peak win and peak WHIP season. Well, yeah, definitely can't argue with the choice though. Josh Beckett. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Spyface Jane is a fan of FIP. Yep, can't argue with that. That's completely valid. Steve Cishek, who actually has a card in the game right now. Assuming it's the 2013 season. Yeah. 9.6 strikeouts per nine. Could also have gone, I guess, with the 2014 season with the crazy 11.6 strikeouts per nine, but the significantly higher WHIP too. Yeah, and I'm not looking with any other eye other than just like wanting to appreciate the seasons and stuff. I'm not looking to make any changes or edits. We're gonna run it as is, but I just wanted to kind of I didn't even know who we're looking at. Oh, JT Real Muto. What season we're looking at? There's quite a few we could potentially pick from, but we're looking at 2018. Yeah, 825 OPS, 21 bombs. I didn't realize he was a 3-time All Star. Very cool. Miggy, the early years. That's great. 2006. Yeah, 339, 998 OPS. I mean, a shade below the peak seasons in Detroit, but this is right up there with them. So my face James says Mike Redmond just missed the cut. Oh, in response to AW, where's legend Mike Redmond? Yeah, this is a real nice season. 339, 998 OPS, 26 bombs with 50 doubles. This has come up quite a few times in our sims, but 50 doubles is hard to do. There are not a ton of 50 double seasons. In fact, I'm wondering if there are more 50 home run seasons than 50 double seasons. I would doubt it, but it is not an easy feat. Smiley Fish, I didn't realize he got MVP votes in every single Marlins year. Yeah, that's impressive. You, there's no overstating how impressive a year you have just to get any MVP votes. Yeah, so the fact that he got at least one every year is impressive. Yeah, I mean, he came out of the gates swinging and really didn't stop. See, originally I was going to potentially do this for every franchise just because I do think this process is fun. The kind of digging into um, the franchise and the history, but it has been really neat watching other people's rosters come in and seeing what they did. I keep forgetting who we're looking at. Oh, he has a good card right now, right? Is it? Does it still play? If I felt like it played early in the cycle, but maybe not anymore. Let's see what season they're going here. 2010, 17th in MVP voting, 33 bombs from a second baseman. Yep, career high 877 OPS. Lowell, 2003. Yep, real nice. There are quite a few to pick from here too. It's always impressive when a player has multiple seasons you could consider. Um, all right, Hanley Ramirez. We're looking at 2009. Yeah, there's other good seasons, but that 342 batting average definitely stands out. There's also the 332 in 2007 with a slightly lower OPS, but the higher stolen bases too. So you get the trade off here: the higher batting average, um, a little less speed. Clearly, the MVP voters are not OOTP MVP voters because this 51 steal season probably would have been a lot higher in the base game. Okay, this is a player I've been looking forward to checking out. So it's been a while since I've looked at Cliff Floyd's stats. So I do a lot of starting sims of the 1991 with the Mets, and so Cliff Floyd comes into the draft in those sims. Beckett and Lowell were traded for prospects, and those prospects include Hanley Ramirez and Anibal Sanchez. That's a pretty fair deal in both directions. It's a more like benefit now versus benefit later, and it seems like both teams probably would have benefited. Yeah, I always think of him as like kind of inconsistent, which does kind of seem to play out here. But the 2001 season, 31 bombs, 968 OPS, 317 batting average, real nice. 18 steals with only three caught stealing to boot. Let me take a peek to see how we're doing on the forms. All right, yo, we only have two forms in, so I don't know if you're waiting till the last minute, or maybe you're waiting till we see the roster. But make sure you don't miss out on this. Wow, look at all this black ink. I had no idea. I mean, I knew he was good, but I wasn't expecting this much black ink. I mean, granted, some of it is games and plate appearances. That's more kind of availability and consistency. But hits, triples, steals, those are not easy to lead the league in. Now, of course, he did lead the league and the majors and caught stealing quite a bit. But but yeah, given everything else, I think it's still a net positive for sure. So we're looking at what season are we looking at here? We're looking at 2004. Yeah, 326. That's his peak OPS. Oh no, 2001 was the peak OPS, but um, leads the league in hits, 221. I didn't realize he played 5 seasons in a row. Played every game uh, of the season. That's pretty impressive, especially for someone who relies on speed. You just think the wheels would break down at some point during the season, but man, 5 seasons in a row, Iron Man, a speedster Iron Man. That's kind of hard to fathom. Giancarlo Stanton. Wait a second. He played in 2010, 2011 under the name Mike Stanton. I don't even remember that. Why would he go with Mike? I didn't know that. That's a weird fact to learn. We're looking at 2017. He's got a lot of good seasons to pick from, though. Led the majors in RBI. That's his 59 home run season, so of course that makes sense to pick that. Man, check out the 24 intentional walks in 2014. 37 bombs, 24 intentional walks. That's a good season right there, right before he leaves for the Yankees. All right, this is another one I've been looking forward to checking out. It's the Gary Sheffield season. All right, because he's got several phases to his career, and this is one of the peaks among several peaks. Right, this Padres year was pretty insane, but this Marlins year, 42 bombs, 465 on base percentage. That's your MVP, Gary Sheffield. Oh, is this the year that the current card is based on? Yeah, I think you're right. This is his highest career OPS. Smiley Face Jr., I think that's right. But also that on base percentage is sick. He actually topped it in 1995 with the 467. But yeah, man, what a good season. I also always remember his batting stance too. It was one that we copied a lot when we were messing around at practice. All right, Charles Johnson. So the funny thing is, before I started playing Perfect Team, I just always thought of Charles Johnson as like a great defensive catcher who I thought was always kind of underappreciated, maybe forgotten. But then I started playing Perfect Team, and he is all over the game. Like he gets cards. I think he gets multiple cards. His cards are really good, especially on the defensive side. And so I was like, yeah, he is not forgotten at all. He is getting his props in Perfect Team for sure. So let's see. We're going with the 1997 season. Wow, he only went to two All-Star games. That's interesting. Only year he got MVP votes. 802 OPS. I'll be curious to see what his defensive profile looks in the game. I hope they did him justice. Arias will be interesting to see how he does in the base game. I feel like the base game and the perfect team engines are just not very kind to this type of hitter. AW surprised that Charles Johnson played for Tampa. Yeah, look at that at the very end 55 plate appearances. Yeah, I mean, led the league in batting 3 years in a row. It's the Ichiro Gwyn Arias profile that I feel like the game is not super kind to. The one exception is 1 year when I was doing one of those 1991 Mets saves. I acquired Tony Gwynn and he actually hit 400. But other than that, like I've had a hard time. I haven't simmed Arias, but with Gwynn and Ichiro, it's been like not uncommon to have them have really flat seasons in the game. So I hope he does well. All right, Miguel Rojas, give you some positional flexibility, so that's good. Let's see, we're looking at 2017. Man, I didn't realize he's been playing for so long, and that he was so old when he came up. So he's already 35. We're looking at 2017. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's in here because you need that positional coverage. Ooh, a Marlins era Yelich. This will be interesting. Yeah, 'cause I think of his best years as a Brewer, but we're looking at the 2016 A59 OPS. Yeah, 2 years before he really blew up with Milwaukee, but yeah, it's pretty good. That means that means Charles Johnson likely called Mark Hendrickson. That's awesome. Yeah, Rojas was for utility. It was the last choice you made. Makes sense. I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder for calling that. And Jeff Conine. I don't think you can have a Marlins team without a Jeff Conine, so I'm glad he's here on the roster. 1994, strike shortened season, 898 OPS. Yeah. I mean, he's not your prototypical first baseman because he's not a big slugger, but I always liked his approach to hitting. Usually knocking around close to 300. If Rojas' 2020 season was long enough, the bat would be so good. Let's go back and take a look at that. Yeah, 304, 888 for a utility player. That would be good. How frustrating was this, if at all? Like just seeing that the two 1,000 plus OPS seasons right after the right after going to Milwaukee. I mean, it's not that this 859 is bad, but when you look at the two seasons after that, that's man, that's tough. 320 plus batting average, 1,000 plus OPS, and the bombs too. He never did return to that form though. Like he's hitting it well again this season, but it's definitely not. He doesn't have that home run power. Would have been annoying if you didn't already know it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You go into it knowing that, so that's right. Okay, well, that's the tour of the team. I appreciate y'all accommodating me there. I always like kind of looking through the stats. I usually learn something. I also like to reminisce about some of these seasons and some of the players, especially Sheffield and his batting stance. So let's uh let's get ready to put this into the game. And so we're taking it just as Smiley Face Jane created it. I'm not changing anything. There was never an attempt to change anything. I just want to get it in there and sim it and see how we do. But it was fun looking at all those players and their seasons. Very similar, I think, experience to kind of looking at that Mets roster, where because it's a newer expansion team, of course, the Mets have been around significantly longer, but you run a lot of the same issues where you don't have a whole ton of like peak legend level players to pick from, and then you end up having to choose from a pretty wide range of like pretty good players, and the players with 2 or 3 seasons with your team instead of having like a longer tenure. But that's all part of I think picking a roster like this for a team that's relatively new. All right, so let's go ahead and do. Let me. I need to save this. Let's do a save file, save as, and so I know you're not seeing this, but where did I save the other ones? Ah, under notes. Okay. And did I just call it? Yeah, my file was FF Mets, so this will be FF Marlins test. I'll put smiley face Jane in the file name so we remember where it came from. Okay, so that's saved. And as always, to do these kind of imports. Oh, we're in ads. Let me pause for ads. I think we're back. Are we back? I think we're back. Okay. So we're going to go to the free agent screen where all the player creation and importing happens. We're going to import historical players from historical underscore database. And we're going to click here for the text file. Oh, wait, what did, okay, so Smiley Face Jane used the MIA abbreviation, so we don't have to change anything. We'll just import it as is. FF Marlins test Smiley Face Jane. And let's see, real stats, peak seasons of career for potential, fielding ratings based on entire career, pitcher stamina on imported season. And I don't think this will be a problem, but we're going to take this down just in case. We don't want to nerf anyone by mistake. And we should have 26. Let's import it and see what happens. 26. That's our first check. And then we'll go into the roster and make sure no one looks too weird. Again, same thing with the Mets, right? You have several two and a half, 3-star players, which you not expect from other teams. I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, this is going to happen always with live players, which, players in the database are, versus the perfect team players, which get, that spiced up, especially later in the cycle. But surprised his framing isn't better. And I just think of having a cannon for an arm, so 65 seems kind of low there too. But I just want to make sure these lower star players did import correctly. Like Jeff Conine, I'm not surprised he's getting a 3-star rating, but he does have that 70 BABIP. Let's see who else. Miguel Rojas is there for utility, so I'm not surprised that he's 2.5. Ramos, 2.5. I think that control's probably costing him a few rating points. Juan Pierre. I'm assuming it's the lack of power and eye that's keeping him down at 3 stars. He's got speed, he's got defense. Okay, everything looks good. Giancarlo, 3.5. Oh, let me check that. That does sound strange. The potential 4 stars also seems a little odd, but I mean, is he getting dinged for the avoid Ks? And he's still not at his peak yet, I guess. He's got another half star to go. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 2016 season, he might also be getting dinged for the low batting average and the super high strikeouts. But yeah, it's at least worth checking out to make sure we have the right one. Sheffield, 5 stars. That's nice. Okay, so again, we're going to let the AI make all the decisions. We are going to go. I was going to just default to sabermetric, but Smiley Face Jane, do you have a preference for which of the presets you want to go with for this team? So I just realized the way I have the base game showing a little edge of it's getting cut off. So let me adjust that a little bit. That'd be a little better. Okay. Sabermetric. Okay, we'll do sabermetric, and we'll let the AI set up the pitching staff. Let's go to ratings so we can. Okay. Good. Fernandez is at the top of the rotation, which is what I would hope. Pavano's a 5 starter. Got Tanner Scott as the closer, Robin and setup. I'm a little bummed out that Dontrell Willis is just in there as a left-handed specialist. At 3.5 stars, you would think he'd have a bigger role, but I guess AI thinks they have better options in the pen. Also, considering there's only 2 lefties in the pen and no lefties in the starting rotation, I thought they'd give him a more prominent role. But so I face James Giancarlo is also 3.5 stars. So I guess maybe the game just doesn't like him as much. Yeah, I do think like the game overvalues speed. I think it also tends to over penalize for bat avoid K, lower batting average. So all right, and then let's set up the lineups. Where is Stanton? Stanton is not starting. That is bizarre. Ah, Max, that's a bummer. So Max had won two low silvers in a row, and I think won several, but also placed very high in almost every late silver for over a week, right? But knocked out early this tournament in round two. Well, do you think any of that is? You think that's just RNG, or is any of that like other people catching on to how well you've been doing and starting to copy some of your roster choices and just catching up? Yeah, not starting Giancarlo Stanton seems like a miss here by the AI. He lost to experiment 626. That means nothing to me. I don't know that team at all, but he had the higher chemistry. Got it. Yeah, so they are not starting the Giancarlo Stanton with the 70 power. I wonder where he is in the depth chart. He's backing up Sheffield and right field, and that's it. How about versus lefties? Just backing up Sheffield. Number one pinch hitter versus lefties. Huh. All right. Well, I mean, well, let's see. Who's he competing against? You've got Sheffield and right. You've got Cabrera at DH. He's not going to play center. And Cliff Floyd's in left. I thought Cliff Floyd was pretty splitty, though, in real life. No, not that splitty. Oh, I'm surprised. Okay. Smiley face said, like, I get his avoid K is bad, but it was an MVP season and he went off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little surprised he's on the bench. I'm actually a lot surprised he's on the bench. Yeah. And his fielding's not terrible. It's not like you have to hide him in right field. Like he can play right field. Yeah, I'm just surprised. Seems like an odd choice by the AI. No, that is true. Smiley Face Jane has a point. The base game loves defense. Actually, the perfect team does too. So just for expediency, I usually have the AI take the first cut at setting lineups, and then I'd make a bunch of edits after that. The AI loves defense, loves speed, and actually doesn't put enough value on power, is what I found. And so that would explain also here if it's not putting value on power, then yeah, Giancarlo Stanton doesn't stand out because the main thing he gives you is power. Ado says based on ratings, I'm not surprised. Yeah, but part of it is I think is I'm also surprised at the ratings. But it is what it is. We're gonna run with it. So, Smiley Face Jane, did the same thing happen in your sim? Did Stanton get benched? I'm just surprised. All right, let's go ahead and close that form. Oh, let's do this. I'm out of water, and I don't want ads to start again during the sim. So let's. Oh, you set the lineups manually. Got it. Well, maybe that explains it. I can blame the AI for the Mets only winning 105 games. Let me run a couple minutes as we'll do a little bit shorter than normal because I just need to grab some water and we're ready to go, I think. And then when we get back from the ads, we will close the form and we'll look at the initial guesses and then we'll start the sim. All right, so if you haven't submitted yet, please submit the form. We've got a couple minutes. Here we go. All right, I think we're back from ads. If you haven't already, please go ahead and submit your form for the pack giveaway. I'll give it another 10 seconds, maybe, unless someone says they're about to submit in the chat. It's gonna be a good night for y'all. As of right now, we only have 3 responses, so we've got pretty good chance at winning packs tonight. Smiley Face Jane, are you not going to enter? Even though this is your roster and you've simmed it, you should feel free. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. I think we have some information that Smiley Face Jane shared in Discord. Uh, Give us a chance, says Max. I think I did mention it earlier that with this roster, it'd feel kind of cheap. Okay, it's up to you. I think it's fine if you enter, but so Smiley Face Jane got 125 wins and won the World Series with this roster, compared to the 105 wins and the Mets losing in the NLDS. Um, yeah. So that means one person's out on winning. That is correct. That is correct. We're going to have one person out. That would be the pessimistic way to look at it. That is true. Okay. Closing the form, generating the spreadsheet, hiding the first 3 columns to start with. So we'll look at these anonymously pre-sim. Okay, here is what we have as far as guesses go. Yeah, no, I'm adjusting the positioning on the screen there. Okay, so everyone thinks the team's going to make the playoffs. One person thinks they'll make the World Series. No one thinks they're going to win the World Series. Only one person thinks we're gonna have a major award winner from this team, and I'll keep the other numerical ones hidden for now. So yeah, we have one optimist, but the optimist doesn't. Even the optimist can't see this team winning the World Series. So I wonder how much of that is a result of how poorly the Mets did in yesterday's sim. But let's go to this. Let's save this. And let's Kevin Brown won the Cy Young in Smiley Face Jane save. All right, let's see what happens. We are going to for the season standings, and we're going to simulate. Again, the first month is always just a couple games because we're using the 2023 schedule. All right, the Marlins start off 2-0. Good start. Of the Sims Smiley Face Jane is done, only the Marlins were brought to the brink of elimination. NLCS went to 7 games. Hanley Ramirez, Player of the Week. And the Marlins finished the first full month 18-11. That's a half game ahead of the Brewers and one game behind the Dodgers for best record of the NL. But everyone is chasing the Rays at 22-7 in the AL, and the Twins also at 22-7 in the AL. All right, let's do the month of May. Marlins staying atop the NL East by a good margin now. 38 game on base streak by Gary Sheffield, 4 game home run streak by Real Muto, and 2 consecutive pinch hit home runs by Christian Yelich. I turned the owner settings off, but he's still trying to change his goals there. Okay. The Marlins now have the best record in the NL and are about a game and a half behind the Twins, one in the win column, two in the loss column, behind the Twins for the best record in the majors. All right. Let's sim the month of June. Oh, why did it? Oh, because of the owners thing. Thought I turned that owner thing off. Okay, simulating June now. Looked like the Marlins might have been the first team to 50. 12 consecutive quality starts by Johnson, 10-game run streak by Ramirez, 10-game win streak by Kevin Brown, and the team had a 9-game winning streak. 58 and 25, almost 700 win percentage. And let's roll into the All-Star break. All right, we need one more finish to finish today. And at the All-Star break, 65 and 27. In fact, the only team in the majors with 60 wins at the break, and we have 65, 707 win percentage. So it must have been a good month of June. All right, let's see who made the All Star team from this Marlins squad. As far as the votes go, I got confused because there's a real Muto on the Phillies that's third in voting. Um, Arias, third in voting at second base. And Sheffield leading in right field. Okay, of the batters, only two in the top three in voting at any position. Yet this is a 65 win team. Again, no surprise. You heard me complaining about it all the time. Imported and created players just do not get love for all star voting for pitchers and relievers for whatever reason. All right. Let's take a look at who actually got selected to the All Star game. Kevin Brown selected 12 and 2 with a sub 2 ERA and a .85 whip. Georgia Tech legend putting in a good season there. That's it for the pitching staff? Okay, now we got to look at the pitching staff. How are you only picking one from this team that's dominating? I think I'm about to get upset here. Kevin Brown clearly had a 13 and 2. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so where are the wins coming from? Beckett's 9 and 5. Fernandez is 9 and 5. Josh Johnson's 9 and 1. As far as whip, Fernandez is also below 1, 9 and 5. Maybe some hard luck losses there. 9 and 5, 3.06 ERA, .99 whip, 12.6 strikeouts per nine, 4.6 WAR, but not selected to the All Star game. Okay, I'm just surprised that the starters are not really driving the winning here for the Marlins. Okay, and then on the batting side, Hanley Ramirez, 316 average, 18 home runs, and 18 stolen bases at the break. Mike Lowell and Gary Sheffield, and that's it. All right. It's a little disappointing. Home run challenge. Let's see. Do we have anyone in here? We do not. We we do not. What do we not have anyone with big home run season here? I mean, 18 is the tops, I guess. Haley Ramirez, Mike Lowell, and Gary Sheffield. Stan just not getting any time despite hitting almost 300 with a 1084 OPS on small sample size. 7 home runs in 68 plate appearances, yet still not being given a chance. Yeah, Giancarlo tearing it up with a small sample size. Every opportunity he's being given, he's doing a great job, but still not being given a chance by the AI. Oh, man. Charles Johnson? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Not starting, but hitting 342 with a 1019 OPS. Nice job. All right. Well, no one apparently good enough to make the home run challenge. All these guys do have over 20 bombs. All right. Joey Gallo, Max Muncy, Carl Schwarber, and Aaron Judge. Schwarber beats Judge. Muncy takes out Gallo. So it's Muncy and Schwarber. And Max Muncy wins the home run derby. 11-8. All right, let's sim to the All-Star game. Let's quick start it. Or quick play it, I mean. No. Oh, sorry. Not mean to do that. I just wanted to do scores, quick play. There we go. NL wins 11-5. Vlad Jr., Matt McLean, Sean Murphy. So none of our guys won performance of the day. Let's see if we got into the game at all. That's a pretty nice win probability graph there. In extra six in the 10th. 6 runs in the top of the 10th. Who did we break it open against? Those runs were charged to looks like Robbie Ray, but it looks like Shohei might have let the bulk of them score. 6 in the top of the 10th. All right, let's see if we had any. Hanley Ramirez came in and pinch hit, got a walk. Mike Lowell, he went 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, stranded 4. Sheffield started, went 0 for 1 with a walk and scored a run. And I think that's it. The pitching side. No? Okay, that's it. All right, relatively uneventful All-Star game for our team. Let's finish out the regular season. We are definitely on track to make the postseason. No, I missed that. Sheffield had a steal and an outfield assist. That's all right, not uneventful. All right, at the end of July, 77-33. Only team with oh no, the Dodgers have 70 wins as well. And let's go to the roster expansion date, which is a month away. Hanley Ramirez, you can see the league leaders on the sides there. Sheffield keeps popping up and disappearing, so he's in the contention for the batting title too. At the end of August, 95 wins on the brink of 100 already. Um, the next closest team in the majors are the Twins with 89 wins and the Dodgers with 88 wins. So let's go to the end of the regular season. 18 games ahead of the Braves at the moment. 38 game save streak by Scott, 17 shutdown streak by Scott. 112 and 49, so not quite as many wins as Smiley Face Jane got, but still way ahead of the Mets. Let's finish the last game of the season. 33 player in Hanley Ramirez, and did get that extra win, so 113 and 49. So 8 games ahead of the Mets. AW was way off on win total. Well, this was also 12 games below what Smiley Face Jane got too. So I wonder if there is something in the setup that's nerfing the teams, because the Mets had come in at 110. I wouldn't feel so disappointed. It's just that like with an all-time greats roster, um, to come in at like what's basically a good normal team season was just a little disappointing. Like this 113 feels more appropriate for an all-time roster because it's closer to the all-time single season, regular season win total. All right, so the Marlins are in the postseason. Let's view the tree, and it's the Mets and the Braves in the NL wild card, and the Angels and the Rays in the AL. All right, the Angels win to get in to face the Twins. And of course, the Braves eliminate the Mets, so it'll be Mets and Braves and Marlins in the division series. What is AW said? Oh, that the that the Rays lost. I had fun doing the quick plays from the scoreboard page. So let's do that. Um, Marlins Braves McHugh at Kevin Brown, and we the Marlins lose. The Braves win 3-1. Kevin Brown, player of the game, scatters 3 hits, 1 earned run over 8 innings, no walks, strikes out 3. But uh, the Marlins were not able to win. Hey, Debbie says, keep it up, Braves. All right, we have game 2, Spencer Strider at Josh Johnson. Another loss, 7-3. Ozzy Albies 3 for 5. Spencer Strider 7 innings, scatters 3 hits, a surprising 6 walks, but strikes out 9. And Matt Olson goes 1 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs. All right, it should be a travel day coming up here. It is. Let's see. The Angels are leading 1-0, and the Yankees are leading 1-0. All right, it's the Marlins at the Braves now. Jose Fernandez on the mound for the Marlins. Max Fried for the Braves. Oh, and the Marlins win in 12 innings. So hanging in there, still down 2 games to 1. Just want to see this win probability graph. There it is. How did we score that run? Top of the 12th. Ground out. Ground out. Sheffield with a solo home run. Wins the game. Strikes out swinging. All right. Another elimination game. This is Josh Beckett at Charlie Morton. And they win in extra innings again, this time 6-5. Another run in the top of the 10th. Josh Beckett gets the win, 5 2/3, scattering 3 hits and 4 walks, while striking out 5. Mike Lowell 2 for 4 with an RBI, a run, and a walk. All right, travel day. And here we go. Series tied at 2. It is Spencer Strider at Kevin Brown again. And the Marlins win 3-1. Kevin Brown, 6 2/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 earned, striking out 5. Miguel Rojas came through 1 for 3 with a home run, RBI, and a run scored. All right, smiley face Jane's excited using the walk off or the bat flip emotes. All right, let's see. We will go back to the tree. And all right, it's the Marlins and Dodgers and the Twins and Yankees. All right, game 1, Kershaw and Josh Johnson. Dodgers still alive, and they are the team that pushed you to 7 in the NLCS. They were also, I think, the they were the other team with over 100 wins. So the Twins with 100 exactly, and the Dodgers with 103. The Marlins, of course, with 113. All right, let's quick play game 1. And what a surprise! They're able to beat Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs. Josh Johnson scatters 5 hits and no walks over 6 innings and strikes out 11 Dodgers. Yeah, playoff Kershaw. Although he did get shelled. Marlins only won 3-2. Okay, it's game 2. Dustin May at Jose Fernandez. Oh, that's a tough loss. 3-1. Dodgers take it. Fernandez gets the loss despite a .71 postseason ERA. Yeah, Fernandez went 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, and outs. All right. Travel day. The Yankees were playing the Twins. All right, it's Josh Beckett and Bobby Miller in Los Angeles. Ooh, another loss, another 3-1 loss, too. Looks like each team scored 1 run in the first, but then the Dodgers cruised the rest of the way. All right, game 4 with the Marlins down 2 games to 1. Kevin Brown taking the hill for the Marlins, and a win 3-2. Kevin Brown gets credit for the win. Scott with another save. All right, game 5 with the teams tied 2 games apiece. Carl Pavano at Clayton Kershaw. Ooh, we lose to playoff Kershaw 6-2, despite a home run by Gary Sheffield. All right, this is now an elimination game with the Dodgers up 3 games to 2. We've got a travel day and in Miami, Dustin May versus Jose Fernandez again. Get a win. Fernandez scatters 5 hits and no walks over 7 innings, 3 earned and 9 strikeouts. All right, tied at 6. New York is up 3 games to 2 against the Twins, but more importantly, the Dodgers and Marlins are tied at 3 games apiece. Here we go. Quick play. And they win, getting to the World Series. Marlins win 4-1. All right, let's go back to tree mode. Ooh, the Twins tied up 3 games apiece. It's going to game 7. And the Twins win it 4 games to 3. Both ALCS and NLCS go to 7 games. All right, we've got the Twins and Marlins in the World Series. All right, game 1, Pablo Lopez at Kevin Brown, Georgia Tech legend Kevin Brown. And the Marlins win 1-0. Kevin Brown goes 7 as part of a combined shutout, gives up 3 hits and 2 walks and strikes out 9. All right, game 2, Chris Paddock versus Josh Beckett. Twins beat the Yankees. Simmons bunk. Marlins win game 2 as well, 5-3, scoring 2 in the bottom of the 10th for a walk-off victory. How did that walk-off play out? What happened there in the bottom of the 10th? Hanley Ramirez hit a 2-run home run for the walk-off. The walk-offs don't stop. Hanley Ramirez doesn't stop, apparently. All right, it's a travel day. And game 3 in Minnesota. Jose Fernandez going to the bump for the Marlins. And a win in 12. 2 runs in the top of the 12th. Cishek gets the win. All right, the Marlins threatening the sweep here. All right, game 4, sweep on the line. Josh Johnson going for the Marlins. And they sweep. 1-0. Josh Johnson goes 7, scatters 3 hits and 3 walks while striking out 8. And the lone run came in the top of the 6th inning with a Gary Sheffield home run. All right. Let's get this screenshot here. Let's screenshot the standings. All right, let's take a quick look at the stats. See if we have anyone think we have a shot at the Cy Young Award or the MVP. So Josh Johnson actually went 18-1 with a 3.10 ERA and a 1.07 WHIP with 233 strikeouts. Kevin Brown, after a hot start, came back to earth a little bit, 21-7, and Jose Fernandez 17-7. Never understand the power of a random Marlins World Series win, says AW. Yeah, but there's no other than Josh Johnson going 18-1. It's no one had a dominating 1-loss record. Kevin Brown did log a 2.20 ERA. So yeah, talking about it, do you think Brown has a chance at a Cy Young? Then let's check the lineups for an MVP candidate. Let's sort by OPS. Sheffield 978, 35 home runs, 100 RBI, and 115 runs scored. 112 walks, too. He's probably the best candidate we have. Giancarlo Stanton, in small sample size, 259, 926 whip, 8 home runs, and 100 plate appearances. So he did slow down in the second half. Brown should at least get consideration. All right, well, let's see what happens. Let's go to our mailbox. And we'll send to the Great Glove Awards first. Tom Tomatoes thinking Hanley for MVP. We'll see. It's possible. All right. Well, this is a much better season score than the Mets had. 1348. And a World Series championship. Check out that trophy. All right. Let's go to the inbox. All right. Great Glove Awards. We did not get an accomplishment, so we did not win any. Hey, where is it? Am I not getting that mail? Oh, man. I know I've set this in the quick start. For some reason, the manager settings and the mail settings are not propagating into the quick starts, despite being set up, being saved in the quick start that way. All right, so we don't have a mail for that, but we also didn't get an achievement, so we did not have any Gold Glove winners. Reliever of the year. Where is my? Why did we not get a reliever of the year notification? Even if we didn't win. Um. Okay, where are the? Oh, I unchecked awards. Oh, I put injury news on. I unchecked awards. Thank you. Okay. Where? I think there's a place I can go though to see. Oh, it's under league news. There we go. Thank you. Okay, we at least got consideration. We had third place and fourth place, and we lost to Evan Phillips, who does look deserving. 2-5, 41 saves with a 1.75 ERA. All right, so we did not win that. Let's go to Platinum Stick Awards. I would hope we get at least a couple of these. It says 2 times achieved. Mike Lowell at third base, Gary Sheffield in right field. Let's see what the rest of the winners look like. Will Smith at catcher, Freddie Freeman at first, Ozzie Albies at second. There's our Mike Lowell at third, Matt McClain playing shortstop, Corbin Carroll in left, Mookie Betts in center, and then our Gary Sheffield in right, and then Nolan Jones as a DH. Rookie of the year, I don't think we have anyone in the running for that. And then, all right, here it is, Cy Young Award. Kevin Brown. We did win a major award. Kevin Brown, Georgia Tech legend Kevin Brown, bringing home the Cy Young. Um, Josh Johnson came in 9th with an 18-0 record. Came in 9th. But yeah, Kevin Brown, 21-7, 2.20 ERA, swept the first place vote. So actually was not even close. Congratulations, Kevin Brown, Georgia Tech legend Kevin Brown. All right, MVP award. Gary Sheffield. We won both major awards. Nice. Again, way better than the Mets. Oh, man. Gary Sheffield wins, actually won fewer of the first place votes, but got 21 more points than Mookie Betts, despite Mookie Betts getting one more first place vote. This is actually one of the closest MVP races I've seen. Hanley Ramirez only finishing fourth. Okay, so Gary Sheffield. I mean, I'm not going to complain because a teammate won it, but Hanley Ramirez had a heck of a season too. 35 home runs, 289 average, and it looks like a 970 something OPS for Sheffield, whereas Hanley Ramirez hit 300, had 30 bombs, 109 RBI. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to compete with that Sheffield season, that's for sure. All right, I think that's it for the awards. So let's go ahead and save this game. Roll in sixth, yes. Then Max, if you want to start getting ready, now might be a good time. I'm gonna make one more zip through the stats here, and then we'll do the pack giveaways, and I think we're done. So someone mentioned 30 steals. I guess that was for Hanley. Yeah, 30-30 for Hanley. 30 home runs, 109 RBI, 106 runs scored, and 30 steals against only 4 caught stealing. So that's a heck of a season. Given the value the game places on steals, I'm a little surprised. Sheffield's only 5 ahead in home runs, had fewer RBIs, did score more runs, but was beat in batting average. But yeah, that 978 OPS. Um, but Hanley had him on WAR too, 6.5 versus 6.4. But Sheffield hangs on to win the MVP. All right, so let me unhide the Twitch user names from the contest form. Where is unhide column? There we go. Unhide columns, and then rehide the first two. I think we're getting done just in time because my laptop is starting to get really laggy. So let's just make sure we can finish up the pack giveaway and then get this over to Max before we have a crash or a freeze up here. All right, so here is the answer form. Will this team make the playoffs? Yes, it did. Will it make it to the World Series? Only one person said yes, and that is P Boom, who must be lurking, or maybe he's already gone to bed. Congratulations, P Boom, on winning 7 packs for first place in our guessing game and what's going to happen to this Marlins save. Will this team win the World Series? No. So Max and AW still tied. Will anyone from this team win a major MVP award? They won both awards, but Max and AW thought they would not win them at all. So now we go to regular season wins. Which they tied 99 and 99. The actual total was 115. So we have to go to the final tiebreaker. The final tiebreaker is what will be the team leading WAR? Max guesses 7.5, AW guesses 8.8. On the batting side, the highest WAR is 6.5. And on the pitching side, the highest WAR is 7.0. So 7.0 is the answer. And the winner is, with a guess of 7.5, closer than the 8.8, is Max. So, Max, congratulations on second place. That's 3 packs for you and 7 packs for P Boom. good to see P Boom back in the stream, even if he's lurking not in the chat. Congratulations to P Boom. Good to have him back. AW says you should have gone with 6.9. Second place for Max, and first place for P Boom. All right. I think that's it. I hope you all had fun. Again, thanks to Smiley Jane for use of the roster text file. Made it go very smoothly today. And also thank you for the subscription. Really appreciate that. And again, if you joined later or missed it, there is now a point redemption, a channel point redemption to play the create a roster game. That will get you the roster creation stream where we'll build your team and run it through the 2023 season. And your roster will go into the roster creation league where we will then do an entire season simulation with once we fill it with 30 teams. So that's in there now. You can redeem it whenever you feel like it. I'm hoping it's enough points where it's rewarding the people who are regulars in our stream, but not so high that you can't redeem it and then still have points to redeem another game at some point relatively soon. So, um, and as for Denny, thank you for the raid as always. And let's get you over to Max LP 80. All right. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. Had a good time. Hope you're able to catch the afternoon episode too, where we did a little more testing around uh, the adjust and override of the slider settings. I think we learned a little more, but I think mostly I learned the next experiment we probably have to set up to get more insight. Marbeck, welcome. Hola. You came here just in time to get raided over into Max, so we're all going to hang out in Max's stream. I'm going to do a few drafts before I go to bed. Hopefully, I can get to bed earlier than normal tonight. But thanks again, everybody.